Hey YouTubers, fellow aliens, we're going to do a little repair of a JX10. So, look at this beast. Look at the beast. Who's Ozzy? Hello friend of all YouTubers alike. 15-year-old rescue. So this thing here, it's got a weak MIDI output. Other than that, works okay, but needs a battery. So we're going to do that. Batteries it has is a CR2450. Make sure you buy a new one. We'll get into that. We're going to take it apart. 3 screws on each side. 2 screws over here. And let's turn it off. It does work fine. Beautiful sounding. It's basically 2 JX8 in a box, which is very cool. Let's take these off. So, there's some screws under here. So I'll get those off, I'll show you later. And this thing has a nice hinge on it. It's a beautiful, beautiful box to work on. Well, there she is. It's a beauty. Recommend a few things. It's like working on a car. Alright, so left side cover. I recommend you using these little containers. You know, you can get these from when you buy takeout, or you can just get some of these little ones. Left side has 3 screws going in to the side. 2 screws, this is the gotcha screws, coming up from the bottom. Okay, I'll show you that. So, those 2 screws coming up from the bottom. One, it's a little dark over there, let me get the light a little better. See that? 2. So they come up, and then these 3 on the side. 3 holes. Ground the thing. Use an ESD strap. It's winter time here in Area 49. You don't want to zap all your circuitry. I mean, there's a lot going on inside there, as you can see. These two major boards, and then there's some other boards, and there's daughter boards, and there's the interface board that has the chips on it I have to get at. I found the battery, and there's the power supply. And I don't think the power supply caps are leaking. I think what this material is, you can see that down there, is the glue. You can see where they glued on some of these other caps. They get a nice fuse. Unfortunately, it's not a union fuse. It's a nice pop-out fuse, but it is a union. Let me get a picture of it there. Battery. Right there it is. Look at that. And it's soldered in. Ugh. So what we're going to do is going to have to replace that whole assembly and take that board off. And I got this beauty here. So this I think will go right in the same holes. Look at that. I go to Digi Key for my stuff. I think Amazon, you're gonna get ripped off. This is the holder. Digi Key. You can see that. I'll put the part numbers in the link, but it's the right holder for a CR2450 battery. Here's a brand new, and I mean brand new battery. I had some batteries I ordered before when I was going to do this job like 5 years ago. And I realized they're already dated 2015, I think. I'm like, they're already 10 years old. 2016, there you go. The lighting here is terrible. 2016. So I got a brand new one, and that expires in like 2031, so make sure you got a good battery. You have to be careful if you buy stuff from Amazon. They'll sell you batteries that are already 10 years old. So I don't recommend going to that. They're okay for some stuff, but electronics, I'd stay away from them. And this battery, I checked it out. It's at 3.3. It's the same as that brand new one. But this synth I bought in like 86, 87 when it first came out. a little over $2,000, and it was worth every penny. I love it. But since I got it open and I have to fix the MIDI problem, I'm going to replace the battery. So I'm not sure which job I'm going to do first. Keep you posted, and I'll show you the trick. And we'll take this board out. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. 1, 2. That harness down there is going to be a bear. 3 harness. 4. I don't like the flex tape. People are scared of that. 4 harnesses on that board. I might be able to just take the screws off, put something down here like an ESD pad, and you know, something like this. I got my strap on, and lay the board on that, and then I don't have to do the harnesses. I can just remove it from this other board. It's like a daughter board here, and cut the leads. Don't desolder a hot lithium battery with a solder gun. Don't do it. They get pregnant, as we call it at work. And after they get pregnant, they can explode. So I'll take those 4 screws out, drop the board down without touching the flex tape. It's very sensitive. These I'm not worried about. These are great connectors. Just drop the board down, cut the 3 pins, desolder those pins, and then put in this bad boy, which should now hold the new 2450 CR2450 battery. That's what they need, CR2450. So that's it for now until I get the boards out. JX10 battery replacement. It's on the assigner board. It's 4 screws, just like the jack board. 2 of them you can't get to. Highly recommend you get a 90-degree screwdriver. That, and you get a little socket wrench and a little screwdriver like that, because that's about the only thing you can get to get into it. I'll show you when I put it back together. Next thing, people have had troubles when they replace the battery on this JX10 or the MKS70, because when you do that, it clears the RAM, so the battery backs up the RAM, and then you have to like reinitialize it, reinstall all that software. You can do it through a memory card if you have one, if you're lucky enough to have one of these. These are $100 now. So you could go from cartridge to internal, but like I warned you, there's flex tape on that thing, and when I did the jack board, flex tape got a little tweaked, but it's good. Just had to go in and fix that. So what we're going to do, you can see I've tacked a little point on top of R1. So R1 is the top of the battery. So what we're going to do is build a little battery thingy. I'm going to just working on cars. You can take a 9-volt battery, wire it up to your cigarette lighter. And when you pull your battery, you put in a battery in your car, you don't have to reset everything. So that's one of those lithium batteries with the pins on it, which we're going to get rid of. I'm taking that off of there. We're going to jump with this in while we desolder that part. Solder in the holder and then pop in the new battery. So that RAM will never be without 3 volts. This thing is, pretty sure I bought this in '86. So it's amazing. You're talking almost 40 years. And that CR24 right here. 2450, got a brand spanking new one, good to 31, which is not 40 years. It's a little bigger than those 2032s. So that's amazing life. You can see a couple of ground jumpers on the board behind it. That's the display board. And there's the switchboard. And strangely enough, there was not a schematic for the, this is called the assigner board, with the JX10 service notes. But I know I have an MKS70, and the MKS70 service notes had the schematic, so I was able to figure out where the battery hides and then where I can jumper it in. So they have like test points on this board underneath there. See, this for digital ground, which is nice. Scoping things, you get a nice point to put your scope on. So I'm going to use that as my return. I'm going to use that point where the voltmeter is as my hot, my little jumper battery. Black is ground, yellow is hot, and then once I get that jumpered in, Maybe I'll put another series resistor in so they don't feed each other, because this one's probably slightly different voltage than that one. Be a good idea to put another 10K in series so they don't backfeed each other, because you really can't charge these aren't chargeable. So I'll do that in a diode. So that's a good idea. So when I jumper this in, I'll put a 10K in a 4048 diode, just like that has, so that they won't feed each other. And then I'll jumper that into, or you could just jumper it into D3, but I already got the jumper point right here at the battery. So D3 will prevent you from hurting that battery or this battery, but then that's a slightly different voltage. So I think that's what I'll do. I mean, in theory, you could put two batteries on top of each other, but you don't want that battery to feed this battery. So at least put a 10K there. 10K in a diode will keep the batteries from backfeeding each other. And then you're good. So that's what my next plan is. I'll turn on, do some more bit after I pull that off. I'm going to use a wick. Put the holder on, put the battery in, button it back up, show you the tight screws, and then we'll see how it goes. Cheers. So I don't want to, I mean, the battery's coming up, but I don't really want to hurt it or cause current flow. It's not desirable. I built that circuit to the 10K resistor, 4148 diode here. Boop. And that's what I'm going to jumper into the other battery. So I'll put it on top of the battery. I don't have to worry about, because this battery isn't going to backfeed through this diode. I'll show you. So voltage drop for the 10K and the diode is it's 33.31. On this side, after the diode, 2.95. So it's a diode drop. But this is why you want this in there. You go and look at it this way. Well, it's negative, but there's no current flow, basically, because the diode's going to block current flow. They didn't specify the diode. I used a 1N4148. You can get them all over the place. There's more Radio Shacks, but you can get them. So this bad boy is a nice jumper underneath. And I'm going to jumper the battery to that same point. And I'm going to put this to that battery hot point. And then I can jumper in my backup battery. Same 2 points. And I won't have to worry about this battery backfeeding this battery and vice versa. I'm going to take this up. So a little slight tweak to the setup. I was worrying about this. There's one spot I'm going to get everybody. That screw right down there. See it? So what you got to do is you hold the screw with tweezers like that. Put it in there and then get it to go in one of these and keep these other three loose. Okay, so you can move the board around a little bit so it can sit in. Here's the new battery, and get a little better light on it. New battery holder. I had to put a little jumper on it. I'll take a picture, I'll show you that. Slightly lower voltage, but it's probably just Panasonic versus the one that was in there as a Sanyo. Where is that? So here's the beast I took out. See, it's a Sanyo. Not a surprise. Panasonic's probably Taiwan. Sanyo was definitely China. I mean, not China, Japan. So, like the Hitachi LSO4 that was in the MIDI that went bad. So that's it. Hopefully my little jumper voltage battery thing worked. We'll know in a second. But so that's it. That little screw down there. Use the tweezers, hold it, push it in a little bit with this, and then you got it. Happy to announce that my battery backup circuit with the diode and the 10K resistors duplicates its design. Worked. I'm out on internal memory. Check it out. Down is internal. Yeah, I did not lose anything. So, we're in business. Fixed MIDI. Volume 1. Volume 2. Replace the battery with a nice little holder. Do have to warn you, Digi Key holders aren't as good as I thought they were going to be. Here's the Digi Key holders. I got one left, but as soon as you bend that, try to like attach a wire to it, it snaps off. So what I did is I took a resistor lead and I placed it in that little hole there and soldered it. Use a little flux to make sure it's soldered well. But this is the holder for CR2450, and it doesn't line up with the holes in the motherboard. I mean the what do you call that board? The board that doesn't have a schematic. The signer board. So that was the only hiccup. But you jump for that right into that R1 there, my backup circuit, and that worked. So happy. I'll have to go through setting up all the memories again. Because I've read a couple of really bad things on the web where people did this and didn't power up right. You'd have to go and use a memory card. I got some. And redo the memory. So here's the memory card. Let's make sure that flex tape's full. Just put it in. Send this to cart. Pick up some of these. Well, that's 3 and 3. Let's put it on. Well, still it works. I love some of these strings. They're just the best. So the flex tape's still working. Let's try that. Really cool memory card, which I don't think you can buy anymore. When I first bought the synth, I got this bad boy. It's got 4 times the memory, and it goes in this way. I always put this on internal when I go card in. First time I did this, after I did the MIDI fix, it didn't work. You see, it's still having some issues. Well, not all those are programmed. This patch I made with that programmer over there. It's got a lot of nice movie and stringy type, call it boxy fishes. It's my own creation. But we are in business, sports fans, fellow aliens alike. Talk to you next time. I'll be doing the MKS70 next. Since I just did the JX10, it should look very similar. And I'll look around and see if I get a better battery holder. I'll keep you up to date on that. And then after that, it's the 80. And the 20's got a bad course chip. And then I got a wave station that needs a 2032 battery in it. That's got a holder. Thank God Core did that. So, never ends. Cheers. Oh, if you like this, please subscribe, as they say, and thank you. And like. Cheers.